be live again for more Everlasting Summer. Let me just pull up my stream on my other device. Alright, here we go. Soviet symbolism was all over the place, and the shelves were full of related literature. Of course, I wasn't planning to read any of these. Getting acquainted with the full collection of books by Marx was the last thing on earth I would think of. Where's the librarian? I didn't spend much time looking for her. I looked closely. Short hair, thick glasses, rather cute face. Ooh. She was snoring so peacefully, I couldn't just wake her up. I can wait. If she doesn't wake up for half an hour, maybe then... I couldn't just sit there, so I took a random book from the nearest bookshelf. Arthur Schopenhauer, The World as Will and Representation. I opened it roughly in the middle and started reading. The life of a man, with its endless upkeep, wants, and suffering, is to be regarded as the explanation and paraphrase of the procreative act, i.e., the absolute claim of the will to live, and furthermore, it is also the reason the man who owes nature his death, and thinks it with anxiety of this debt. It is not the evidence that our existence involves is this not the evidence that our existence involves guilt? At any rate, we always exist from time to time, playing with death for our birth. We always exist and alternately bear all joy and sorrow of life, since neither of both can pass us without some effect. That is the result of our stated will to live. Thus, the fear of death, which in spite of all the miseries of life holds us firmly to it, is really elusive, but just as elusive as the impulse which has attracted us to it. The attraction itself may be seen objectively as the mutual longing glances of two lovers. They are the purest expression of the will to live, in its affirmation how gentle and tender it is. It wants happiness and quiet pleasure and mild joys for itself, for others, for all. Someone knocked on the door. I closed the book quickly and put it back in its place. What a nice habit, knocking on the door. I should pick it up. Yeah, you should. You should, especially since what happened last time. Or maybe not. I don't know. It was Lena. Oh. Hi. I smiled. Hi. I just wanted to return a book. She had the copy of Gone with the Wind that I saw yesterday. Oh. Xenia is sleeping. I'll come back later. I'm awake. I turned around in surprise to look at her. She eyed me closely from behind her table. What is it you wanted? I need you to check here. Give it here. She quickly signed the paper and gave it back to me. She had this look on her face that made me want to keep quiet. Lena came up to her to return her book. I thanked Xenia and went out. Infirmary. What's the point of visiting the infirmary? My health was fine. The fresh local air clearly did some good. I felt fresher than usual. But I just have to visit it. I entered. A common infirmary, like my school doctor's room. Is there a pretty nurse in here? What is this? Why is his head so big? See that? Like flower head? Why is his spine got so many little segments in it? Ooh.
Pretty nice, very nice, very nice.
Hey! A middle-aged woman sat at the table. Obviously, she was the nurse. She gazed intently at me, assessing me while continuing to write something. Hello, Pioneer. Hello, Pioneer, said the nurse without being distracted from her work. Good afternoon, ma'am. I have something. Sit down, please. I looked around the room. On the couch. I sat down. Strip, she said with an even tone. What for? To inspect. Osculate. To inspect. To osculate. To check on your health, you know. By the way, my name is Violetta. You can call me Viola. She turned to me. What are you waiting for? Strip. But I have no health issues. I've got this. I neatly gave her the paper. Later. She took the stethoscope from her neck, seemingly like she intended to probe me with it. But then someone knocked on the door. The nurse answered unwillingly. Come in. In a moment, the door opened opened widely, and the electronic rushed inside. Hello, I fell during the football game. Nonsense, of course, but I'm okay. But Olga, there was a massive bruise under Electronic's eye. I doubt this could be a football injury. Sit down, I'll have a look, she said to him. Huh? Where does glasses come from? Was she wearing glasses before? Did I just not notice her glasses? What? And you pass me your checklist. The nurse quickly signed it and continued. If something hurts, come to me immediately, Pioneer. I decided not to answer and went out, closing the door behind me. The nurse surely is something else. Go to the music club, because that's what club I want to do. The music club, a small one-level building, was located some distance from the other camp buildings. I opened the door and entered without hesitation. Hey, you forgot to knock. Remember what happened last time? Remember what you just said? Jeez. There were enough instruments for a whole orchestra here. Drums, guitars, even a piano. 2 of those are not instruments that orchestras really use. I spent some time looking closely at every instrument, wanting to guess the time period they were from, but suddenly I heard a crawling sound coming from underneath the piano. Oh, it's Hatsune Miku. Some crazy stuff going on outside. Some crazy wind. A girl seems like she was looking for something. They better name her Miku. They better have her named Hatsune Miku. She was standing on all fours, which was a suggestive pose that I hesitated to speak at first. Excuse me.
Ah, who's there?
She tried to stand up, but the bottom of the piano prevented her from doing so.
Ouch!
That's definitely Hatsune Miku. There's no arguing there. Sorry I scared you. It's nothing. You got a checklist. You must be new here. Ah, yes.
My name is Miku. Yes, there we go. It was Hatsune Miku.
No, really,
I'm serious. Nobody believes me, but it's my real name. My mother is Japanese. My dad met her when he was building. Well, it wasn't really him who was building. He's an engineer. And he was working on a nuclear power plant there. Or a dam. Or a bridge. Whatever.
She was talking so fast she swallowed half the words she tried to pronounce. I'm Semyon.
Great! You wanna be in a club? Because it's only me here now. But it will be the 2 of us then. Do you play anything?
When I became an antisocial, I bought a guitar and learned a few chords, but then I forgot about it, since I quit everything that required more than a couple hours to learn. Since I quit everything that required more than a couple of hours to learn. You know, I wasn't planning on to do anything like that, really.
Oh, it's okay. I'll teach you. Maybe trumpet, for example? How about a violin? I know it all, honestly.
There was no point in arguing with the orchestra girl, since there was only another cascade of words waiting to blast me. Hey, I'll think about it. Can you just sign it for now?
Yes, sure. Give it to me. Be sure to come around. I sing too. I'll sing you some Japanese folk songs. Or maybe if you're not into that, something more contemporary?
Sure. Thanks. Gotta go now.
Of course. Come anytime. I'll be waiting for you. On all fours. Like when you found me.
The end of her sentence stayed inside. Well, it's probably good that it ended. Or that you didn't hear it. It might be nice. It might be nice to hang around with a guitar in the evening, but in such company, I turned to leave and face with Elisa. She eyed me suspiciously. Why'd you come? The checklist. Got it signed? Yes. Then move it. Elisa went inside, and I heard my pace to leave. I went to the clubhouse. To tell the truth, I never really liked extracurricular activities. At school, I used to find any excuse to skip extra classes. At university, I had no interest in participating in the student council. I wasn't interested in boxing, aeromodeling, or sewing, so I came here just to check off the box. Nobody was here. I found myself... What's that noise? Okay. I found myself in something like a hut or a junior robot enthusiast. There were wires and simple printed circuits scattered everywhere. Chips scattered everywhere. Chips, and on the table proudly stood a oscillograph. I don't know what that is. Is it on the table? I don't know. I heard voices from another room. Then two pioneers appeared. What? Wait, didn't he just go to the nurse with a bruise on his eye? I smell conspiracy. And who's this? Pretty boy. One was electronic. The other was one I didn't know. Hey, Semyon. We've been expecting you. It seems like he knows everything about everyone. Why were you expecting me? Well, of course, you came up to sign up to our Cybernetics Club, didn't you? Cybernetics. He didn't let me answer. And this is Shurik. He's in charge here. I assume there's only 2 of you in the club? Well, you can say that it's 3 now. Shurik came up to me and assertively offered his hand. His face was somewhat familiar. Welcome to the club. Yep. Now, I'll show you around. Make yourself at home. Guys, I just wanted to... We're always welcoming new members. He said that in such a way that the anthem of the Soviet Union started playing in my head. Okay. It's amazing. I even remembered his words. In the 1st grade, I had a textbook with the lyrics in the back. No, I just wanted you to sign my checklist. Yep, you sign up to the club? Well, sign your checklist. He grinned. I'm getting ready for a long and boring argument. But then I heard someone enter. I looked back and saw Slavia. I thought I heard a voice. Weird.
Simon. I hope they're not giving you any trouble.
They are. Make them sign my checklist. Ma'am, lady, woman. She narrowed her eyes, looking back at the future of the motherland's robotics industry.
I know these 2. They can.
Well, you know, I actually just needed to get my checklist signed. I decided to take advantage of the situation.
No problem. Give it to me.
Livia took up her march to Shurik.
Sign it.
Hold on, we're not done yet.
We're done. Sign it now.
She gave Shurik such a threatening look that it made him lose every possible objection. Yeah, I like her. She's my favorite girl. She's best girl. She's best girl. He wrote some squiggles on the checklist. I thanked Slavia and then moved on to mellow mood. I moved on in a mellow mood. That was everything, I believe, right? No. I finally got all the signatures. Now I had to go back to Olga and give it to her. What about the canteen? I didn't eat lunch. Oh. She was sitting in front of the cabin reading a book. Doesn't look like a good role model for the perfect pioneer that she was planning to turn me into. I wonder if her responsibilities extended beyond giving fiery speeches at the lineup, scolding Yelvana, and getting involved into my moral and physical ideological growth.
Here.
I offered her my checklist. She placed it in her pocket without even looking at the signatures. Great! I could have signed it myself without going anywhere.
Perfect. So did you meet our nurse?
Oh yeah, she was wonderful. She wanted to examine me, if you know what I mean. For some reason, her question sent shivers down my spine.
Which club have you signed up for?
Oh, I'm going for the music club, obviously. Gotta dance with that Hatsune Miku. I didn't. I need to think first.
That's a pity. It's vital for you to sign up.
It's vital for you to sign up. To sign in somewhere tomorrow. Of course. Sure. Right. It's time to go to dinner already. About time. It was about time. I was getting hungry. I headed to the canteen together with Olga. I looked at the sky and noticed the sun was already setting. On the porch stood Elisa, Electronic, Ilana, and Sylvia. As we came up, I heard what they were talking about.
And never call me
Tucci, again, or you'll get another one. I didn't call you that. You're hearing things.
He did. I heard it all.
You weren't even there.
I was in the bushes.
Come on, guys. Stop it. Get some help. So it wasn't a football injury Electronic suffered earlier today. The nurse did a good job. I couldn't even see his black eye. Olga came up to them and asked them about the ruckus.
What happened?
Elisa and Cheese.
I didn't do anything.
She's shrugged it with apathy. Oh, antipathy, and went aside.
Right, dinner time.
I entered last. There weren't too many free seats. There were a few free chairs near Elisa across the canteen, but I'd sooner starve for a week than risk my head near her. There was also a seat near Yelana, but I'm not into traditional Chinese, whatever calls cuisine. Finally, a freer chair near Miku. Looks like I'll have to pick my poison. Same man. Oh, do you mind if I sit here? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, no, I don't mind. I mean, yes, you can sit here.
I sat down. Look, it's buckwheat. Oh,
look, it's buckwheat today. Do you like buckwheat? And chicken. I don't like chicken. Well, not that I don't like it. But if you ask me, what would I prefer, say, stroganoff beef or ragout? No, maybe just a hamburger or a rump steak. Do you like rump steak?
I'm not that picky about food. That's the simple truth. Wait a minute, I'm sending a message to someone. I keep getting distracted.
Oh, is that so? But the desserts, they aren't really good here. I like ice cream. Do you like ice cream? I love 48 kopecks. And Leningding is okay. Oh, sorry, I keep talking about myself.
Okay, popular. Okay.
Maybe you like Eskimo better?
I like Klondike. What would you do for Klondike, boy? The wind outside is pretty crazy. It's really distracting me. Dinner was starting to get on my nerves, thanks to such company. And I'm not the kind of person who can just ignore someone who's talking to them. Even her. We're at the same table after all.
I once bought a waffle cone and started eating. And then you know what? I found a screw in there. A real screw. Can you imagine that? Or it was a bolt? I don't really know. Screws are those that you tighten with screwdrivers, and bolts are those you turn with a wrench, yes?
If there was a speed eating contest going on, I would probably be up in the top 3 winners by now. Right, I'll be going. Enjoy your meal. I got up and headed outside. Yo, why are you leaving Miku alone? Miku was saying something, but her words were drowned out by the crowd of loudly dining pioneers. The wind is crazy. What? I keep getting distracted by it. I need to make more noise so I don't hear the wind, so I don't keep getting distracted by it. I went out and sat on the stairs, waiting for my dinner to settle down a bit. I just sat there watching the night falling. Everything is so lively here during the day. Kids laughing and yelling happily, fooling around, running around, constant chatter, games going on, and swimming at the beach. But after dark, the camp really changes entirely. The sounds of day were swapped for silence, but only now and then broken by crickets chirping or a night bird. The camp was going to sleep. In every shadow, you could see things, maybe a ghost, or a spirit of the forest, or a wild animal. A human being would be the last thing to expect. This is how it looked last night and now. The locals followed their routine very strictly. In the day, the camp was theirs. At night, it belonged to more forces of the nature than humans. That was very badly read. Someone touched my shoulder. I looked back. It was electronic. Let's go play cards. Cards? Yep, I invented a new game. A good one. Good? Like how? Well, first we gotta find the cards, then I'll tell you. Then go find them. What's the problem? Only Demetria has them, and she won't give them to me. Why so? Well, last time when Olga and Slavia came out into the porch. Olga, Semyon. Olga, Semyon just wanted to ask you about the possibility of getting playing cards. Actually,
for what purpose?
We invented a new game. Not we, you did.
What game?
I need the cards to show you.
I don't like this. Well, if Semyon's with you, then perhaps it's okay.
I forgot her voice. I'm doing it way too high. To be really honest.
We'll go fetch them together, Olga.
I'm gonna go with Silva. I don't like how I have to click 2 times to save the game. No, let's see. I'm going with Silva. I'm going with my best girl. If you don't mind.
Sure, let's go.
We headed towards my cabin. Roughly halfway there, Slavia stopped.
Hey, just remember the cards are in my cabin.
Oh, we're going to her cabin. She's taking me to her home. Good timing.
And where's that?
And where's that?
Just down the road. Let's go.
Oh, is that my house right there? This one? We reached the cabin that in fact looked more like a trailer.
Wait just here a minute. I'll be back.
Took a few seconds to come back.
There.
She showed me a deck of pretty worn out cards. These must be marked in and out a lot. That's important. That's important. Oh. What did I say? These might be marked in and out. That's
unsportsmanlike. What happened to fair play?
Tell me about it. It's hard to cheat when you don't know the rules. Shall we go? Let's go. Okay, good thing I went with her, because then cards were in the wrong place. On our way back, I decided to try and find out about something. How long have you been here?
At this camp, about a week.
I see. And where'd you come from?
From the north.
That is...
the cold north.
She looked at me and smiled. Looks like nobody in this camp is inclined to answer with even the most innocent of questions. I tried to approach from another angle. So what do you like?
What do you mean?
Well, your hobbies.
Oh, like nature.
Strange, she's not very talkative today for some reason. Nature? I see. Want to become a natural historian?
More like a normal historian. I was always interested in our nation's beauty. Our nation's history.
That would suit her well, indeed. It appeared that among all the locals, she was the only one who had nothing to hide. What if she came here just like me and simply could not trust anyone enough to tell? I tried testing the waters. And why did you choose this camp?
I didn't. My parents got a voucher for me from their work.
Another failure. Well, if you could choose...
It's nice here. I don't think I would choose some other place if I could. It's like you are becoming another person.
That wasn't how I saw it. What do you mean, another person?
It's just, there's so many possibilities. You can learn so much, meet so many new interesting people here.
Now she started to sound like our chief, which raised a red flag for me. I decided to stop with the questions for now. When we got back, Olga told Slavia,
I just remembered that the cards were at your place.
It's okay, we got it.
Good.
Slavia and Olga went inside. I was going to follow them, but someone grabbed my hand. Elisa. Her gaze sent a shiver down my spine. Not a nice one. You want something? I asked carefully. You're going to play this stupid game? Yes. Something wrong with that? Nope, nothing. She was turning to leave, but then slowly looked back and smiled. So you play cards? A little. Couldn't figure out what she wanted. Only Durak, and that's it? Cardian probably already uses that. As if you're a poker star. Well, yes, technically.
Then you don't have a choice.
Why? Because. So you know the rules?
Of course.
Then you'll have to the upper hand. I couldn't see why would we go on talking about emotion towards the door. I couldn't see why would she go on and talking and motion towards the door. Why do you keep trying to leave? Is there anything else you would like to talk about? Let's make a bet. What do you mean? You're such a slowpoke. The cards, what else? And what do you want to bet on? That I'll win. That's quite a possible outcome. I agreed calmly. So you're afraid? No, I'm not. It's just a big bet. I'm not. I'm not that big on bets when I don't like to take my chances. And you're not big on taking risks too. An astute observation. I'm impressed. Alright, then No, you're not. Now what? I sighed in exhaustion. She was starting to annoy me with her rubbish talk about some pointless bet. If you won't bet with me, I'll tell everyone that you tried to seduce me. What? You heard me. I couldn't imagine her doing this. Don't be stupid. Who's gonna believe you? I've been here less than 2 days. Besides, wanna try your luck? Right. And what will happen if I win? I won't tell anyone anything. And if I lose? Slowpoke mode again? I'll tell everyone who tried to seduce me. I told you already. So you're telling me how now that I have to work to prove that I didn't do something when I actually didn't do it? If that's how you want to look at it. Not a simple decision. On one hand, I was stupid to agree. I didn't know the rules and gambling wasn't my thing. On the other hand, she could really make my life hell. Then again, can I even trust her? She can do it even if I win. So, having made a decision, I was going to answer, but suddenly Lena came up from behind. What?
Nothing.
Lena hurried inside. So, I am not going to bet with her. Don't bet with her. I'm not going to participate in your shady business. Sorry about that. You are wuss. You wuss. She shrugged and went up the stairs. Before went inside, she flung at me. Prepare to face the consequences. Consequences? What if I made the wrong decision? After all, she can really complicate things for me here. On the other, you know what? I'm actually gonna go back and agree. Just. I may regret it 100 times. Fine, I'll do it. She smiled. But if I win? Yeah, all fair, no cheating. Elisa turned up and went to the stairs inside the canteen. Why am I doing this? Because she can set me up regardless if she wants to? Since she decided to anyway, I let out a heavy sigh and followed her through the door. Inside, everything was ready. A few pioneers stood here and there chatting. The tables were moved out of the way to make room for players and spectators. I looked around. Something was going on in the far corner. When I came closer, a large piece of paper with a diagram drawn on it. My name was among the other players. And who came up with all this? I patted Electronic, who was standing near. Well, of course it was your most humble servant. He bowed to me jokingly. This made me uncomfortable to the point of squirming. And why in the world am I among the players then? I was disappointed. A few seconds ago, I thought I still had this slim chance to evade the tournament. Then I wouldn't have to fear Elisa's revenge for losing the bet with her. But now that hope is gone. It was pure coincidence. Yeah, right, coincidence, except that I was already acquainted with every one of the contestants, while there were a few dozen other pioneers standing in the room. I was seized by anxiety. It's the feeling of being watched while standing in an empty room with no windows and doors. Will there be a prize? I asked him lazily. I wanted to distract myself with pointless conversation. Electronic was just about to answer when Yolana came up out of nowhere and started jumping around him. Prizes! Prizes! Heard something about prizes! Do you know what the main ethos of the Olympic Games? It's not the winning, but the taking part that counts. What? No! You'll understand when you grow up. She made a wry face and jabbed Electronic in the ribs. So what about the prize? Well, I don't know. It's not up to me. He made a helpless gesture. Really, if they came up with this stupid game, at least they could have come up with a winner. They could give the winner a chocolate medal or something. Yolana suddenly jumped and raced off somewhere. I wish I was that optimistic. So what about the rules? Wait a bit. Not everyone is here yet. I looked around the canteen. Elisa, Slavia, Lena, Miku, and Shurik were here. Seems like everyone is here. Not everyone. Xenia isn't here yet. Does he feel uneasy, or is it just me? She's not here, so what? Pick someone else instead. No, I can't do that, he answered slowly. I decided not to ask exactly why he can't do this. We'll go fetch her or something, I don't know. He can't go, he's the host of the event. The camp leader appeared as if from nowhere. But Olga, Electronic whined. Simon will go. Right, Semyon? She looked at me and smiled. Of course, who else? Where is she? In the library, in the library, I guess. Okay. I dragged my feet towards the door. Please hurry. What's electronics problem anyway? Aw, can Slavia come with me? I don't want to go alone. Night is coming soon. I was going to take my time, so I slowly paced towards the library. But I found Xenia even before I even expected. She was sitting at a bench in the square, staring at Genza, who was silent as always. What are you doing here? Everyone is looking for you. Sitting here, as you can see. She frowned. Well, let's go. I don't want to go. She looked away. Why not? I don't want to. I sat beside her. Listen, I don't like the idea of this contest myself, but we can't let everyone down. Surely I didn't sound like myself there. A couple of days ago, I wouldn't even think of saying something like that. Xenia looked at me with surprise on her face. So everyone's waiting for me? Isn't that exactly what I said? Yes. I won't go anyway. She frowned and hid her face. But why? I gestured with my arms, wondering. I don't know how to play cards. So what? So what? So what? Same problem here. Then how can you play? What? Well, you can only do things that you read about in books. Oh, what? You can only do something that you read about in books or something? Of course. She was surprised. And what if you end up in Antarctica and have to rely on hunting polar bears to survive? Polar bears don't live in Antarctica. Xenia smiled. Doesn't matter, it's just an example. Come on, it's not like someone's life depends on the result. She took her time to think. I just don't want to let anyone down. Right. I agreed sarcastically. And don't think you're anything funny about that. I don't get what she meant, but anyway. Obviously, everyone has their weak spots. In a minute, we both were back in the canteen. Everyone looked at Electric. So, he cleared his throat. Each round consists of one game. In case of a draw, you replay the game. After this, the loser drops out and the next round begins. Since the number of volunteers, he looked at me. Since the number of players is 8, we'll only have 3 rounds. Is everything clear? The crowd cheered. And what are the prizes? The prizes... What are they?
What are the prizes? The prizes, what are they? Ilana, cut it out.
Slavia stepped forward and tried to catch Ilana.
I won't rest until the prize is mine.
It seemed like the girl alone had enough energy for a warp jump to Alpha Centauri.
Prizes.
She repeated it over and over. Stop it. Get some help. Sylvia tried to reason with her. Electronics seemed to be getting dizzy from all this running around. Let's start it already, I said calmly and added to Liana. Or you won't get any prizes. Looks like my argument got through to her, so she took her place. Slavia followed her, giving me a grateful smile as she passed. Oh, scoring some points! Ooh! The pioneers finally settled down. I approached the table that Lena sat behind. So you don't mind? She looked up and blushed. Don't worry, I don't know the rules myself. And how can I be sure that it's not only myself? I sat down. Turns out we'll have to play the first round together. Yes. Finally, the electronics started to explain the rules. Look at the cards carefully. There were exactly 6 of them in front of you. I hope everyone knows how to count. You can look at them. I can't see. Oh, these are so nice cards. After everyone had a look at their cards, Electronic moved on. The rules here are similar to poker. I hope everyone knows how to play. I knew the rules, but I wasn't sure about the others. First of all, it's the top card. One pair, then 2 pairs, then 3 of a kind, and so on. No flushes or straights, though. In the first round, you choose a card which you would like to take from your opponent. In turn, your opponent can choose to swap one of his cards around twice, or he can choose not to do so, if he doesn't keep the card which you are taking. Next, take a note here that your opponent can see which cards you are trading in places. In the next step, your opponent takes a card he chooses, and so on. I think it's pretty clear. It wasn't clear to me.
Hey, you Einstein!
Yolanda left from her table.
I don't get a thing.
You'll figure it out as we go. Alright, now I can see all my cards. Electronic went to the table with the diagram, leaving Yolanda to smolder in solitude. You go first. I hoped I could get my mind around the game fast enough. Lena, more perplexed than usual, reached out for my cards. In the middle of the table, her hand stopped.
Will you?
Oh yeah, I should be protecting my card. What was it Electronic said? Try to confuse my opponent, I can swap two of my cards. Twice. Or I can choose not to. Should I protect it or not? By the way, I can also agree to give her a card she chose straight away. Otherwise, Lena can change her mind and take another card if she wants to. Or she might not. What? How do you win? Oh yeah, poker, duh. Is that the one she wants? Can you just do that? Give her that one. Take this one instead of that one. Things were becoming clear. Now she has 7 cards. Or at least comprehensible. Now's my turn. I can take my card back from her, or I can choose another one. I'll choose this one. Lena can try and protect her card, but if I watch her closely, I can take a card I choose regardless of her movements. Okay, I'm gonna stick with this card. I'm gonna stick with this card. Got a 2. Dang it. Electronic, who was silently watching our game, nodded in approval. Looks like now we're getting somewhere. Now during this round, the opponents trade cards 3 times. Keep an eye on each other. Penetrate your opponent with your eyes. I chuckled. Penetrate. What's so funny? Oh, never mind. I tried to keep a straight face. He stared at me for a moment, then moved on. And then we turned the cards up to see whose hand is better. Electronic went to his diagram. These aren't my cards. Oh, this was after all the trading? No, this is a different hand. What? Well, why are the characters on here? Don't take my 8. Let me just take this one. Nope. These card arts are really nice, though. King. Did I have a king before? No, stop taking my 8s. Okay, how do I skip? Skip, skip. Skip, skip. Six. I won.
Hey, I'd like this one card.
Okay, press the win button. Cool, I won. Press win to win. Seriously, it's hard to play a game that's made up on the spot, and not by yourself either. But I won. Although the moment of glory was tainted by the fact that it was Lena who was the loser. She's not very confident in general, but now she's lost. I'm too embarrassed to even look at her now. I probably should have lost to boost her self-esteem. But but I have a bet with Elisa. Meanwhile, Electronic proudly announced that the first round was over. A list of those who made it to the second round appeared in the scheme after a little while. Semi-final pairs consisted of Elisa versus Xenia and Ilana versus me. A doomed sigh escaped me. Ilana immediately took a seat in front of me. Ha! She glared at me, grinning. How
did you manage to outplay Lena? Cheated, perhaps?
I'm not you. I just know how to play cards. At least that's what I want her to believe. And how could you outplay Shurik? Yana waved her hands, showing how easy it was.
I threatened to join his club.
She grinned again.
Would you hold back too?
Not a chance.
Ugh. Then I'll choose which card I gave you to you myself.
Did you hear the rules?
Ah, screw them.
It looked like she really didn't care. Okay, but I choose the cards I gave to you too.
Deal.
Inspired by my victory in the first round, I ventured upon this dangerous move. I could have appealed to Electronic, eventually had it my own way, but somehow I felt truly confident in the outcome of this round. As we were breaking the rules, we were breaking the rules, but I was in the same boat as Ilana. I looked up at Electronic. It's time to begin the semifinals, he commanded. I carefully checked out my cards, ensuring that Ilana didn't come see them. Why is she on all these cards? Alright. What? Oh, cards that I give to her. Giving back my card. Let's give her my 6. What happened to this card? Did she, like, hit someone? Are those blood splashes? Press win to win.
Hey, that isn't fair. Should have held back and lost.
She angrily puffed her cheeks, making her resemble Humpty Dumpty.
Let's have a rematch, but this time you have to hold back, got it?
It wasn't only me who heard her, but the entire room, even Electronic. No rematches allowed. Yana completely ignored him.
You have to lose.
I don't have the slightest intention of playing you for a second time, I said calmly.
Fine, you want it that way?
Yes, that way.
Then I'll put the word that you sexually harassed Elisa.
She whispered.
What?
What? I leaned over the table and gave her a menacing glare. So you've been eavesdropping.
I just heard it while passing by.
Anyway, it's much better to play an extra round then. She can certainly do that. I sighed and appealed to Electronic. No problem, we'll have a quick rematch. Ah, whatever. He shrugged. So the rematch had started.
What the heck is this?
Okay, I have a full hand, right? 8, 3, king. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah, I'm just gonna run my 3s then. I'll keep this card. Which one do I get rid of? 8, 8, 8. Okay, I'll get rid of the 3. Easy peasy, I said and reclined on my seat.
That's not fair.
I hoped she won't demand another rematch. How come? I chuckled.
Okay.
Said Yulon aggrievedly, and got up from the table. I studied the tournament scheme closely, trying to understand who's going to be my final rival. At the moment, Elisa took my place at the table. I pulled a dumb, faint smile, like I'm afraid of her. Congratulations. Expecting to win? I'm expecting that you'll keep your promise. Okay, let's roll. We're playing normal game, right? Yes, we are. Don't you dare take one of my kings. I'm keeping with this card. I'm keeping with this card. Alright, you're fine. Take that card. You're fine to take that card as well. You're fine to take that card. Just don't take my kings. I'm gonna take this card, actually. It's got a jack again. I'm gonna take this one. Hopefully it's a jack. Nope, it's the 4. I was close. Oh, there was only one jack. Was there? I guess. But I barely won. Hooray, I won. That'll at least know who rolls the roost here. Oh, some dope music. I'm boogieing, by the way. I won. Gotta bust down, bust a groove, you know? So much, guys. That means that betting with her wasn't a waste. Now the only thing left is to hope that she will not spread the false gossip because of her loss. Suddenly I had a desire to celebrate my own victory and have a dip at the beach. To tell the truth, I do not really know how to swim, but the possibility of diving into the cool water under the moonlight seemed attractive. After all, I spent the whole of yesterday in my winter clothes and surely could have a nicely wring a sweat out of me. In the evening, no one should be here, so I took off all my clothes except my underpants and entered the water. If only I knew, I would have taken my swimming trunks along. Usually it was enough for me to swim for 10 to 20 meters, but this time the euphoria of victory spurred me to break this record. I swam slowly and tactfully, watching every movement of my arms and legs, and keeping my breath steady. Am I drowning? All of a sudden, wham! A strike on the back of my back sent me underwater. I started to drown, but I managed to force myself up to grab a nearby buoy. Why'd you follow me? Just saw Elisa swimming after me. What the hell are you doing? What am I doing? Hailing the winner! What if I started drowning? Well, I'd save you. Of course. It was too dangerous to stay here. She could easily sink me again. I gathered my strength and swam back to shore. I slowly started to catch my breath. Beach sand stuck to my body from head to toe.
Ooh, we got a nice CG for her too. Top quality, 10 out of 10.
After some time, Elisa came out of the water. You know, you swim well. I wouldn't say so. Yeah, you too. Wow, wasn't that obvious? I said nothing. You won twice against me today. That means I will forget you You won twice against me today. That means I will forget 2 of your debts. What kind of debts is she talking about? It looks like Elisa has a problem with evaluating reality. Thanks a lot. How did I win twice? What did I win against her the first time? I said sarcastically. You know, you're not as much of a loser as I thought. Oh? Ooh. Elisa was wearing a swimsuit that perfectly emphasized the beauty of her figure. Oh, it's going back down? Oh, I thought it was just going to keep panning up and down. Well, taking into account all the flaws in her personality, at least this advantage of hers couldn't be taken away. Since when did you become a loser? Since when did I become a loser? She smiled cunningly. What's wrong? Aren't you one? Of course not. And how will you prove it? I don't have to prove anything. Oh? So is that it? She said without any anger. Yeah, that's it. The silence was expected. A light wind gently played with the waves, sending them to the shore and taking them back after. Elisa was still looking through me, as if, it seemed, she completely forgot about my presence. Hey, or to Elisa. Her look immediately switched back to a normal one. Anyway, bye-bye. She picked up her clothes lying nearby and left. It was late, but I decided to spend a little more time by lying on my back and stargazing. After all, I didn't have many opportunities for that before, or I simply tried to avoid every opportunity. Well, if we think about it, the light from faraway stars reaches us only after 1,000,000 years. Right now, I can see the stars because it was shining back then, long in the past. And now the star has gone, already exploded. Wait a minute. She took my clothes too! I got up and looked around the beach. No doubt about it. Elisa took my pioneer uniform. Damn it. And I was just starting to think that she's not so spoiled. I need to come with an idea quickly. Certainly I could go complain to Olga, but not in my underpants. I didn't know which cabin Elisa lives in either, and knocking on every door is not a good idea. Maybe I should go to Slavia? Yes, of course. At night wearing my underpants. The only thing missing is the rose in my teeth. Overall, looks like I'm screwed. And in any case, I have to do something. I was lucky not so much time had passed since she left. I could still catch up with Elisa. Hurry up. In the blink of an eye, I found myself at the square. To my great surprise, Elisa was sitting at the bench, apparently bored. She already changed. Give them back. Yeah, sure, take them. She muttered with a guilty tone and handed back my uniform. Don't think I was waiting for you on purpose or anything like that. Elisa turned her back and set off towards the cabin's easy pace. I was left standing, riveted on the spot. I didn't expect such a twist. The guilt did its job, perhaps. Fat chance. Anyway, it's better to keep away from her, and recent events do not change a thing. I headed to Olga's cabin. For the first time today, I finally felt how tired I was. There was no light in the window, so Olga must have been sleeping already. Strangely enough, she waited for me yesterday. I entered quietly and stripped and laid in bed. When you think about it, my situation hadn't gone any clearer today. In fact, I spent the whole day doing useless stuff. I've spent the whole day doing useless stuff. I would have never even thought about doing something like this in the real world, although I had plenty of time. How much time I would have here in total is a mystery. Maybe an eternity, or maybe there were only a few minutes left. I just didn't want to think about the past, about how I got to this camp. For the first time in a long while, I felt really tired. Not only emotionally tired, but also physically tired, psychologically tired, and God knows how else tired. I just wanted everyone and everything to shove off, starting with my own thoughts. I wanted this mess to somehow resolve by itself, or at least without my active participation. And what if I'm stuck here forever? Then I'll have to get used to it. Just like that, I'm not ready. Ahem. My consciousness slowly drifted away from me, and it became progressively harder to concentrate on something distant. Perhaps it's better to wait until tomorrow. I rolled over and fell asleep. Day 3. I'm curious about why it's on a computer. Could that be playing into the lore? Like, he's on a computer. Because, he's weak. No, not that. He's on a computer because, he's dreaming. Right, he fell asleep at his computer. Right, because remember, he had this dream all the time, but this time, or maybe this is the dream that he would have all the time, and we're just playing through it. He wakes up, he's at his computer, he goes to his college reunion, and all the people are there, all these people. The night left a feeling of anxiety behind. I woke up exhausted both physically and mentally. What happens to me all the time? You see incredibly lucid images in your dream, as if you feel like you fell into a Hollywood blockbuster with a plot full of twists, well-paid actors, and multi-million-dollar visual effects, and you wake up in the morning without remembering a thing. That's what I was trying to do, to restore the image shown by my relaxed brain. But that part of my memory was empty, either archived or formatted completely. It's 7 a.m. according to the clock. I seem to be an early bird today. Olga was still sleeping, wrapped tightly in her blanket. Wrapping so tightly. In a hot summer? I got up, stretched, and went to the mirror to look at myself. I'd better shave. Strange idea. Before twice a month was enough, but now nothing depends on the way I look. I haven't found a razor anyway. Why do I even need to look like if I'm 17 at most? Why do I even need it if I look like I'm 17 at most? So, breakfast can't start earlier than 9 a.m. And this means I have plenty of time. I can spend on walking and washing, for example. The water didn't seem as ice cold as the previous day. On the contrary, its refreshing coolness helped me to brace up and come back together. On the contrary, its refreshing coolness helped me brace up and come back to reality, whether all these events could be called real. The tooth powder didn't seem to be such an outdated thing. A quick thought struck me that it's not that different from toothpaste. When I returned to the cabin, Olga was already up. She was standing in front of the mirror and fixing her hair. "Good morning, Simon." "Good morning." Because of the lack of sleep, my head was still singing and my thoughts were all jumbled together. However, I didn't regret waking up instead of my usual habit of sleeping in for 2 or 3 hours more.
How come you got up so early?
It just happened.
And no, neckerchief once again.
I'll do it myself, no big deal. On my way to canteen.
I don't think so. Do it now! Did you forget about the lineup before breakfast?
How could I ever forget? And what's the lineup going to be about today?
We'll discuss the agenda for the day.
So what's the agenda? Frankly speaking, I didn't care for what might be in the agenda for a courageous pioneer. Frankly speaking, I didn't care what might be on the agenda for a courageous pioneer troop. I was mostly interested in where our brave leader will send our little pioneer army for the following 12 to 15 hours. Maybe I could manage to avoid enemy locations.
You'll find out in the lineup.
She gave a wry smile. Olga, my stomach is getting upset. I'd rather, I believe it's okay to miss the lineup once. I could really get nasty. I could get all nasty if I failed to control it right here. Where did all this courage come from?
You have 5 more minutes.
I'm afraid I need more time. Could you tell me right now, please? Sure. Oops. Sure, I'll try it, but just in case it all goes down.
Oh, fine.
On our list for today, cleaning campus locations, organizing the books in the library, some other minor tasks, and of course, we have a ball in the evening. Watch yourself. Let's take part in camp activities today. You bet. Definitely. And now I'd rather... Come on, let's hit the road. I came out of the cabin, hid in the bushes behind it, waiting for Olga to leave. Actually, I didn't have any particular reason to behave this way, but the voice within me kept telling me that I have nothing to do in the lineup. After the camp leader left, I went back to the cabin and decided to wait for breakfast there. Well, I'm not planning on taking part in community life today. Cleaning and organizing, that's not what someone in my situation should be doing. 2 days had passed, and I'm still right here where I started. The residents seemed to be perfectly ordinary people. They weren't involved in any conspiracy, weren't communicating with aliens, and had no idea about the time warps. Of course, each of them is a bit peculiar, but those peculiarities do not seem out of line at all. Moreover, if I had met any of these pioneers in my familiar world, I wouldn't suspect anything wrong. They seemed to be even more normal and natural than, let's say, yours truly. This line of reasoning was quite logical, and the illogical part was the absence of answers. Ordinary people have an extraordinary place. I've heard and seen that already somewhere. Dozens of pioneers live their familiar lives and do their regular stuff day by day. They don't understand the world around them is not what it looks like. Okay, but this is their point of view. As for me, I'm not acquainted with the world of Sovietnak camp and its residents, even if they seem to behave the normal way people would under the same circumstances. I have to decide here and now, are those people involved with what's happening to me? Can they give me any answers, or do I have to seek the truth somewhere else? It seems I overdid it a bit with the thinking, and there's no usual crowd of hungry pioneers near the canteen. Or even inside the canteen. Most of them probably had their breakfast before 9 a.m. That's even better. Two's company, three's a crowd. Lena was sitting at the farthest corner of the canteen, lazily picking at her fork with the amorphous lump of vaguely resembled porridge. Having that breakfast with her seems like a good idea. We can have a chat in peace, or at least try to have one. I was on the way to her table when suddenly someone grabbed me by the sleeve. Xenia, the librarian. Get your meal and come. We need to talk. What are you waiting for? I was a bit confused. Pardon, isn't it a bit too sudden? What's wrong? Get your meal and sit down. I suppose that she considers her behavior completely normal. Do I want librarian or Lena? Lena, fine, but wait a minute. Fine, wait a minute. Okay. Do I want her or Lena?
I want Lena.
I was sure that Lena wouldn't mind if I sat next to her. Hold on, wait a second. Sorry, maybe later. I gently loosened my sleeve from her grip and headed to the furthest corner of the canteen. You know what? She wants to talk to me. I keep changing this. I keep doing this, but here, let me load. Yes. Fine, wait a minute. I'm not sure why, but I accepted the invitation. What if we can learn something new? She's such a bookworm. A minute later, I was sitting in front of Xenia with a tray and a simple meal on it. Porridge, 2 eggs, 4 pieces of white bread, a sausage, and a glass of compote. Bon appetit! Thanks! I decided to act as politely as I could, and also eat more neatly, without chomping and spilling crumbs of the food. Or drops of compote. So, what do you want to talk about? Today at the library. I wasn't listening from this point onwards. I immediately recalled Olga's words about the scheduled events for today. Don't forget. Oh, what? So don't forget to visit the library after lunch. What for? Were you even listening? Nope. I admitted honestly. Xenia's face turned red, then appeared green, then she took a soft purple color. Today, after lunch, you in the library. Got it, dunce? Dunce? What kind of curse is that? Though a pioneer must never use a curse word, how could I forget this rule? Oh yeah, sure, I apologize. Of course, I'll be there. Actually, I wasn't really planning to go anywhere, but if you want to make someone speak, you need to sacrifice a bit first. By the way, what year is it now? I totally lost count. Decided to play fair. She looked professionally and answered. Have you gone completely bananas? Honestly, that's how I felt for the last few days. Senya didn't reply. So what year is it? I smiled kindly. Listen, why don't you visit the infirmary? Will they tell me what year it is there? Oh, certainly, and even more. Senya stood up and headed to the exit. Wait, you didn't finish your meal, but it looks like she won't turn back. I was finishing chewing on a sausage, which tasted like a twisted pear cable. I wonder if they have internet access here. I guess not. A pioneer sitting at the next table noticed me talking to myself and stared at me. I smiled and waved to him in return. After such a friendly greeting, he for some reason left the canteen quickly without finishing breakfast. Done with the food. It's time to search for some clues. Wow! I'm really great with people. Making them run away. 2 of them this morning, without finishing their food or anything. Sometime later, I finally came to the infirmary. I have nothing to do in that place. Though the nurse seemed quite caring, it's better to keep a distance from her. Such benevolence is actually scary. She may know something, but I just hadn't the courage to enter the infirmary. Moreover, I had no reason to. Not a single one. Immersed in my own thoughts, I didn't notice the nurse, who was standing on the porch. Oh, hi there, Pioneer. She came closer. You must be sick. Did you come for medicine? No, I was just wandering around. Oh, a truant, I see. If you're here, I have a serious task for you. I gave her a look of inquiry. The word task made me feel uneasy. It sounded like something inevitable. The nurse smiled spitefully. You both will help me take an inventory of the supplied medicine which arrived today. Both? Who are we? Perhaps I misheard. But what word would confuse with both? Hi. Lena emerged from behind the nurse's back. It seemed strange that I hadn't noticed her until now. Come here after dinner. I have explained everything to Lena. She will tell you what to do. Medicine, huh? Supplied today? But Olga told me that no bus would arrive for the next couple of days. So there were visitors to her camp today? Yes, they arrived from the city this morning. Why are you asking? Just curious. Alright then, Pioneer. So tonight, after dinner, you'll be here? Maybe I... Lena was barely noticeable this whole time. Surely she's able to remain invisible like a skilled ninja. I could do it on my own. No way. No way. There are lots of boxes. And a Pioneer is always ready. Isn't that so, Pioneer? She gazed at me and smiled menacingly. I don't want to spend the whole evening doing something like this, and I've got more important things to do. But rejecting this request would be really improper. If it wasn't Lena who was standing there, I'd definitely think my way out. Alright. I'm actually gonna pause right here, take a break. I'm going to have to get some dinner. I will be back, though, after I have my dinner. I've been playing this game so long today. Yes, to the main menu. And I will think, while I'm at dinner, I'll think of which girl I want to listen to. The nurse or Dimitri. I'll probably listen to Olga. Because she's big mama, big mommy. Alright. I'll catch you later.